got some folk in the chat over on YouTube. Rosanna.mp3 says, hey, how are you? I'm doing well, friend. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Let me know how you're getting on, and if there's anything you'd like to hear. These Friday night streams are a funny one, because I try and do them for my North American audience, which I know, well, North and South American audience. I know they exist because I can see them streaming my music and liking all my reels. But I want to do live streams for them too. It's been a while, yeah, that's okay. I like to think of it that people are welcome to join me on stream whenever they want. And that can be, you know, it can be when they have nothing, you know, when they've got nothing better to do. It could also be when they just feel like they need some Carnatic Indian classical music in their life, you know. You timed this really well, actually. You came onto the chat just as the drone behind me died away, so I've got at least 10 seconds of yapping, right? Yeah, also, I kind of think of it like, if you're streaming, you're doing a bunch of things at once, right? Because I want to commit to, like, making music that's more accessible. I grew up with parents who have disabilities, and I just hate the idea that they can't come to every gig I do, because gigs are up a flight of stairs or down in a basement, right? Rosanna, you remind me, you make music as well, right? You make kind of hyper-poppy electronic stuff, don't you? Remind me how your music stuff's going. I feel like it's been a minute since we've checked in about music. Because you're London-based, right? Would love to know how your music's going. If you're on Twitch as well, by the way, because I'm streaming here twice, folk on Twitch, do let me know what you're up to and where you're streaming from. Well, where I'm streaming from is the UK. Where you're watching from would be more apt, wouldn't it? Let me know what you want to hear. It can be a raga, it can be an anime theme tune, it can be anything. Rosanna.mp3, if you're still here, would love to know what you're up to musically at the moment, because I feel like you had gigs and stuff in London when I last spoke to you, right? I am maybe going to switch gear a little bit, play something a little bit more different. Yeah, I do. I am London-based, been going well experimenting with some underground stuff. That's really cool. Let me know what kind of venues you're playing in. Maybe I'll come watch you. In terms of gigs, still hoping to perform my first one. You know, I was going to say, I announced my first bona fide London headline on Thursday. It's going to be at the Social on the 28th of May. And I'm going to need a support act for it. So what I'm going to be doing in like a few days is I'm going to put like a socials message out on Instagram and see if anybody wants to open for me. If your first one wants to be opening for me, you're more than welcome to put your name in the hat. Be nice to have you. I like the idea of my opener or my support act being kind of eclectic, because I like a lot of electronic music myself, and it would kind of be cool to keep that through line, you know, because my own music has electronic elements to it that would love to be a support act. That would be awesome. Yeah, you should watch the skies for that post. It'll be up sometime later in the month. You should definitely like come to the gig anyway, though. It'd be cool to meet. There's so many people in London I've not met yet, you know, because it's my most listened to place in the UK. And I would love to like spend some time with folk who, you know, like yourself, who care enough to spend time with me online. It would be great to hang out IRL, wouldn't it? Honestly, for your first gig, I would take my time until you were happy with it, because you need to be happy with the live show, but you also need to be happy with the vibe of the gig, right? Honestly, so bad at attending gigs, but I'll try and plan in advance. Rosanna, no worries. It's just, it was just a thought. No, you're not going to get any pressure from me. That's not how I operate out here. I think when I was younger, it's a very guy thing as well. You can get a bit entitled about people coming to your gigs or not coming, but I can look at it like it's on me to get my music out there and connect with people this way. And if they feel like they like my guitar playing enough, maybe they'll come to a gig. I'm feeling confident that it will be alright. I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing a gig that's going to consist of half of it's going to be like me doing this. Not the yapping part, but me doing some, you know, like a tempura drone in the background, me playing some Carnatic Indian classical music, and then my wife comes on flute, my drummer comes on, you know, and yeah, we start playing my own music, and yeah, it'll be really fun. So I used to, do you know what's funny actually? When I first listened to your music after I met you on one of these streams, it reminded me so much of like music I used to love listening to but haven't come back to in a minute, and it reminded me to go listen to a bunch of music I love. I know, I do appreciate your enthusiasm nonetheless, and would love to see you live and me. Honestly, no pressure. It's like, I kind of look at it as like these live streams are like a community thing and not like a really shallow attempt to spam people, you know? I'm glad I had that impact. Honestly, yeah. What my biggest fear as a musician is waking up one day and just not being like enthusiastic anymore. I feel like having an unending amount of enthusiasm is just kind of who I am, but I worry, you know. Like, I would appreciate if you could check out my more recent music, actually, because I've developed my sound and production a lot since then. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm up for that. On my Instagram live streams, there's a band. I think some of them are in Delhi and one of them's in Qatar. And they're trying to do like a Sleep Token Linkin Park sounding thing, which is eclectic to me anyway. But they send me their demos all the time. And they're so like, they're quite variable. Like the first one sounded kind of scrappy, but then the next two sounded a lot more polished. Then people like develop so quickly now. Like I can't keep up with it. So it's funny to me that I've been gigging for a while, but this is like my first, not opening for another artist, not playing like a festival. The show on the 28th of May is going to be me actually doing my own thing and having my own show on my own terms, and I'm pretty excited for it. What's your new stuff like? I'd love to know what your influences are. Like, do you have similar influences to last time, or is it more of like, you know, are you kind of using the old stuff I heard as like a jumping off point to do something different? I'm all ears, you know, because you're kind of, I don't know, like, remind me, I feel like we talked about like Floralis and HTML Jones and artists like that. I feel like there's this new London kind of brown scene coming up, and they're all very like queer, gender non-conforming, and like HTML Jones, actually HTML Jones and Floralis, I vibe with them both because HTML Jones is Tummel and I'm Tummel, and I feel like there's like this shared kind of kinship there whenever we hang out. Big fan of their music as well. Their album's out really soon, I think. Yeah, we did. That London scene does inspire me. Yeah, I think London's in such a great place right now because you've got, what have you got? You've got like the Daytimers thing, you've got like the Dialed In thing that grew out of that, but you've also got all the new kind of electronic scenes that are growing out of it, like a Tamil one, a Punjabi one. Like, I feel like there's like a new Punjabi wave of UK garage every time I check in with it. I kind of wish sometimes that my job wasn't so demanding, otherwise I feel like I would be at so many more of these club nights, but it is what it is, you know. Also, just the underground hip-hop scene, experimental rap. What are your favorite underground rappers just now, actually, Rosanna? I'd love to know, because I kind of get the vibe that they'll be like an amazing rapper, but they'll have like 6 SoundCloud followers and they don't have like the clout to get on the really good lineups or something. I'd love to know what your underground recommendations are right now, because honestly, me and rap, like, my fingers either really, really on the pulse, or I just fall out with it. Not because I don't want to listen to it, but I get stuck listening to one thing, and then I just don't come back to it. And then I just don't, you know, I just don't end up keeping... There's so many rap albums coming out all the time. I'm going to finish this tuning break, and then I'm going to do something else, I think. Play a little... In the meantime, Rosanna, let me know... No, that's totally understandable. Hip-hop is crazy in terms of, like, output. I know the hip-hop's obviously played an influence in your work as well, but... I have a lot of friends. A lot of my friends who are brown and do music, they're all rappers, right? And a lot of them do they do like a release every 2 weeks, which is really funny because I do a new release every 6 weeks. But I think that's a lot, but they do like new music every 2 weeks, and I just can't believe it. If you've just joined us, whether you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, we are taking requests, we are playing ragas, we are yapping, and we're hanging out, playing some Indian classical music on the guitar. I am going to read this out. There's so many awesome rappers. I have a good friend called Ale, who has this insane Tyler, the Creator kind of sound, but I've been inspired by Soma, another friend of mine called Matt. I've never heard of any of these artists. I'm going to check them all out as soon as the stream's over. Alright, let's get back to playing. I love yapping, as you know, but I need to play as well a little bit too. Note because I got distracted by something I really wanted to ask you, Rosanna. Do you like the music producer Arca by any chance? She's probably one of my favorite electronic hyperpop producers of all time. I literally interrupted my own performance to ask you that. I say that because Arca's doing like an electronic music workshop really soon, and I really want to go. Let me know if you're a fan of Arca, because she's not probably one of the best producers as much as one of the best musicians I've ever heard in my life. Her name is spelled A-R-C-A. Pretty simple, but her music is genuinely mind-blowing. I would honestly start with the EPs and go in chronological order. I asked because she's doing like a workshop this weekend, and I believe she's still London-based, but she's such a visionary producer in that sphere and beyond. I think people will still be ripping her off in like 2027, 2029, 2050, you name the year. But A-R-C-A is how you spell her name, Arca. And I feel like if you like all the music that you've listed for me that you like, you would definitely love her stuff. Do you like Sophie and like the kind of PC music thing? Because if you like that kind of music, Arca is like next level. I mean, nothing's better than Sophie, but Arca comes pretty close, I think. People are like checking in to hear Indian classical music, and I'm yapping about hyperpop producers I like. Talk about brand clash, huh? I keep wanting to reply and I interrupt my own like playing. I'm gonna just keep the microphone here and I'm just gonna keep playing and keep yapping. One day I'm gonna be so good that I'm gonna be able to play and sing at the same time. One day. I haven't heard of any of that stuff you're mentioning. Food House and Guppy. I haven't heard of any. Are those labels? Are those genres of music? I'm having such an unk moment here live on the stream. Jesus. I always hoped I was like the guy who would at least have heard of the kinds of music. I keep acting like PC music is like a new thing and it's like 10 years old. It's like a hyperpop duo. Oh, I literally never heard of them. That's crazy. I am gonna check them out. Are they like London based then, or are they like more international than that? Hyperpop's funny in that you get artists blowing up just because they're good at SoundCloud, and they're like in Argentina or Antarctica. I kind of like that about the movement. Oh, they're American, nice. I really wish there was like more Indian sounding hyperpop, like hyperpop but with like Tamil or Punjabi lyrics. I would really love that. I've heard it, and there's like loads of different African languages that like are done with hyperpop production now, and I find those really interesting. I have a song a while back. If you're interested, I can go link it to you. I have a song a while back on my second album. It's called Rupture of the Wheel, and it's me trying to do like my kind of music that you hear me do now, but it's got like 100 gecs kind of money machine flavor about it. Well, that's kind of why I wanted it to sound like. But message me on Instagram later and I'll send you it. But the song has like a guest verse from a rapper in Urdu halfway through, and to me I'm like, I can kind of speak Tamil, but I don't really... Oh, sure, used to be a big fan of 100 gecs. Everyone loves the second gecs album. I don't really care about it, to be honest. For me, it's all like Money Machine and shit. I'm gonna jam that song for you, actually, because the riff kind of works in an Indian classical way. The really 100 gecs sounding shit on that song doesn't really work on this stream, but I'll do the main riff. Baby's good. Hollywood Baby's on the second album. It's probably the only song on that album I really like, because it's like, it reminds me of something out of the mid-2000s, but it's hyperpop. I feel like that's what 100 gecs kind of do. They find like a really outdated decade of music and then do their own thing with it. I know Dylan Brady does his own production, but yeah, you're right. I haven't heard about them in years. I wonder what they're up to. I was speaking to a friend of mine who's a rapper in Atlanta, and he told me that he accidentally saw 100 gecs open for Brockhampton in like 2019. I can't imagine a Brockhampton crowd trying to enjoy 100 gecs. It would make sense as a concept, I think. I hope they make 100,000 gecs. They should keep doing like 1,000,000 gecs. I was following at 1,000 gecs before this blows up. They should call it out. That's what they should call the best of. They should call it They should call it investing at 100,000 gecs before this blows up. 100 gecs in Brockhampton. I legit can't imagine what that audience thought of it. It's quite funny because the folk on Twitch, because I simultaneously stream this to Twitch and YouTube, they can't see that this chat's going on. So they're probably like, why is he talking about who are 100 gecs? What is hyperpop? Why are you yapping over your own like Indian classical music? I'm having fun, and that's all that really matters. It's my stream, right? We love hyperpop and Indian classical music. I did it. I found all 3 people who like both genres of music. I can retire from music for good now. It's nice to have you back in the chat, Rosanna. We should definitely hang in London sometime, either at the show or anywhere else. It's lovely to be here. I did miss it. Oh, that's really kind of you to say. Honestly, it's interesting because 100% would be down. I'll get Ishani to join us. Sounds like a plan to me, friend. Sounds like a plan. If you played live, what would your setup be? Would it be like you and a laptop? Would you have like visuals? Do you play an instrument live as well? Maybe keys? I don't know. Because when people do hyperpop shit live, they really like vary what they do. Like there isn't like a defined setup for hyperpop. I've been thinking a lot about this. How about this? You tell me everything in your live setup, and I'm just gonna play a raga for a bit. Let me work my way through all of these comments. It's good I actually played a little bit and didn't just yap about hyperpop the whole time, huh? My main idea is like a laptop, like everybody else, but I kind of want it to be like like acting there to really show the emotion in each song. Also, these CD gifts I've made professionally, there would love to be a background with a projector. You can definitely get that stuff, to be fair. I mean, it's not most venues of a certain spec and above, unless they're really, really DIY, tend to come with like a projector as standard, so it's definitely something you could do. My albums are concept albums and have different eras, so changing clothes, lighting, projector scenes as a vision to match the song. Yeah, I really respect that. You know, that's a really cool idea for a vision, you know. Maybe you should like build up some momentum online, then you can kind of make the tickets expensive enough that you can have production value. That sounds like the kind of show where you should take your time and do it right. Like, if you try to do that kind of show on a budget, you might not get the end result that you want. Whereas I kind of get the vibe that if you took your time with that and really built up like demand for it, that would be amazing. I'd love to come to that as well. Keep me posted. It depends on how many songs I can perform and such, but thinking really big. Yeah, do it. Honestly, think as big as you can. I do have a past with live performance and public speaking, so I'm hoping it won't be nerve-wracking either. It's kinda, you know, one of those things. You've just kinda, it's the catch-22 of live music. You've just kinda got to throw yourself into it. Because if you don't, you're never gonna get good at it. You've kinda got to get on stage and do your thing. But the more you get on stage, the more loose you become. And the more limber and loose you are on stage, the better your performance and the happier the audience are. I won't name them for obvious reasons, but like a few weeks ago, I went to go see like a friend's band from Canada play. And the opening band was like, they were just a couple of they were like 3 teenagers, and I didn't love the way they sounded because they were kids, but they had such an amazing time on stage that I walked away being like, I enjoyed that even if I would never listen to that band on record. It was just like, they've not been playing their instruments long enough, it was not my kind of music, but they were having such great times on stage, and you could kind of really feed off the energy even if the music wasn't for you. So I think that there's a lot to be said for just being really relaxed on stage and like not worrying too much about the music doing all the talking. Like, if you're having a lot of fun on stage, the crowd just vibe with that, even if the music isn't for them, I think. This is true, I should actually take time with the planning and budget. Yeah, 100%. But definitely want to keep it DIY, ingrained in Rosanna as a project, or like partially. That is inspiring. Yeah, I mean, I've done like I did so many gigs before I assigned with my live agency and stuff who helped me with gigs now. And like, there was so much like being nervous on stage, but letting the nerve be the reason that the gig wasn't fun for me or the people in the audience. Now I'm just kind of having fun with it, you know? And I think that losing track of why we do music in the first place is the first step to failure. Like, I do this because I love it, and it's what keeps me connected with my heritage and what keeps me connected to what I care about, you know? Because even if it's like a really slow burn, like some people say, hey, Twitch and YouTube seem really hard to do live streaming in. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because I'm not a gamer or anything, but I don't know, I'm doing my part for accessibility in music, and I'm getting better at the guitar every time I do it, so I'm happy enough. Rosanna, speaking of the gig, I'm gonna have to go because I need to go start rehearsing for the gig. I need to do at least half an hour practicing the songs as well. I really respect you being connected with music, video music, since I think being born abroad can make it hard. Thank you for streaming. Had a good time here. Rosanna, thank you so much. And thank you so much for you people on Twitch as well watching. I am going to be playing my first bona fide London capital H headline show on the 28th of May at the Social in London. It's pretty central. Be great to see you. When the messages go out for who wants to open for me at the gig, Rosanna, please apply. I'd love to see you there. That'd be really sick to have you on the lineup if you want. Anywho, I am going to switch off this stream and then go rehearse for said gig, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Take it easy.